We detected an unusual trade worth nearly $500,000 on MGM Resorts stock, ticker symbol MGM. But here's what makes this even more interesting. MGM Resorts is scheduled to report earnings in a few days on July 30th. And so, in this video, we'll break down this unusual options activity to figure out whether this wealthy investor is bullish and buying, expecting the stock to move higher, or bearish and selling, expecting the stock to move lower. Because as we all know, the rich have more access to exclusive research and information, sometimes even leaked insider information, including potential access to earnings data before it's public, giving them an edge to make better, smarter financial decisions. This is how smart money always stays one step ahead, well before the rest of the market catches on. No wonder the rich get richer. And so, to level the playing field, let's dive into our analysis to gain insights from the rich so that our subscribers and members can profit from this deep knowledge too. As we can see here on the options time and sales tape, the most unusual trade happened on July 22nd at 9:41 a.m. and also throughout the day for these August 1st options at the 37.5 strike calls. Many contracts were being traded for these same options at around the price of $120 per contract. Now, remember, options are priced per share, and each options contract controls 100 shares of stock. So to get the dollar value, we multiply by 100, or simply move the decimal 2 places to the right. That means each contract costs $120. And so, to calculate the total cost this wealthy investor spent, we multiply the price per contract by the total number of contracts traded. And so, how many contracts did they trade? Well, we can start by checking how many open contracts existed before this unusual trade was made. And so, let's check the historical data from July 21st, before this unusual option activity happened on July 22nd. Looking at the August 1st options at the 37.5 strike calls, the open interest was only 59 open contracts. And now that the data has updated, let's examine the option chain for the same August 1st options at the 37.5 strike calls. And we can see that the open interest has now increased significantly to 3,896 open contracts, clearly showing strong interest in these options. So this tells us that this wealthy investor opened new contracts here on July 22nd, because it would not be possible to close out 3,896 contracts if only 59 open contracts existed the day before. And so, to calculate the change in new opening contracts, we start with the current contracts that are opened, 3,896, and subtract the 59 contracts opened previously, which equals 3,837 new contracts opened. And now we can calculate the cost of this unusual trade by multiplying the total number of new contracts by the price we saw earlier on the options time and sales tape of $120 per contract. And this equals a total value of approximately $460,000 for this unusual option activity. But keep in mind, just because a trade is nearly $500,000 does not necessarily mean it has a high probability of success. In fact, this one carries more risk than the smaller, more selective trades we share on our website. And so, if you want to get access to the lower risk trades with a higher probability of profit, then go to our website. We'll put a link up here. Keep in mind that our members also get earlier access to trades like this before anyone else, even before we share it with the public. So if you're tired of being late and want more time to act on these opportunities, just head over to our website, where you can see in real time when and which stocks wealthy investors are trading on Wall Street, so that you can have the same opportunities as the rich. Because if the rich get richer, why shouldn't you? With that said, Even though this trade carries higher risk, we still took it, but we used position sizing to manage our risk. As you can see here at the 37th.5 strike calls. Since this was a new opening trade, we also traded these call options and got into the same position here, marked as POS, which stands for our position, and the green color indicates a buy position, because based on our deep research across multiple variables and data sets, this wealthy investor bought these 37.5 strike calls for $120 each, the same price as we calculated and saw earlier on the options time and sales tape. And so, when we analyze this trade, you can see here on the risk profile graph where the profit or loss shows up here, and the x-axis represents the share price of the stock, which is currently trading over here, and the y-axis represents the amount of profit or loss. Note the zero break-even line here. And so, when the purple line, which represents the current date, and the blue line, which represents the option's expiration date, are trading below this zero break-even line, as the share price goes down, this trade becomes more negative, loss. And as the share price goes up, this trade becomes more positive, more profitable, because it's going long, bullish on MGM Resorts stock. We can also confirm that by checking the options Greeks. This trade has a positive delta, which means it's positioned long and bullish. If it was a short bearish trade, we would see a negative delta instead. But keep in mind, the risk with this trade, it has a negative theta, which means it loses value over time due to time decay. And that is why you can see here, the purple line drops down lower to the blue line as we approach the option's expiration date. Since these options lose value through time, the break-even on this trade moves higher as time goes on. And so you can see here, even though the call options we bought have a strike price of $37.50, the stock needs to trade above $38.70 per share for this trade to be profitable at expiration. Because of this added risk, along with other factors, including earnings, we only took a small position in this trade. We don't invest a lot of capital into these higher risk trades. Instead, we focus most of our capital on lower risk, higher probability of profit trades, the kind of trades we share on our website. We'll put a link to our website here, where you can also learn more strategies to increase your profits. Let us know in the comments, do you think MGM Resorts stock will move higher or drop lower? As always, please like, subscribe, and until next time, let's keep tracking the trades of the rich so everyday investors can profit too. Take care and have a wonderful day.